we are going to be seeing a deck that we were talking about a little bit earlier, Aria, and it is the Is It combo deck in the hands of PAULO and HENRIQUE de FARIAS, and they are going up against Ben ZAHNEISSEN with Jeskai Control. So Is It combo going up against Jeskai Control, and you know, we could talk a little bit about who's ahead, who's favored, whatever, but I think we should just let this one play itself out because I want to see what's going on here in this deck. Let's see what the players are working with, and just to let our players know, the overlay is slightly topsy-turvy currently. It is PAULO on the bottom half of your screen with the creativities, and Ben on the top of your half of your screen with all the iterations and torrential gearhawk. So we are going to switch that around shortly, but just so everybody knows, we are watching from the point of view of PAULO right now, who has Shark Typhoon, Magma Opus, Creativity, and Fry. So we could be seeing a combo go off pretty soon.
Yeah, so one thing worth noting is that there's not actually gonna be a combo from PAULO in post-spot games of this matchup, because what they've done is we saw from their opening hand that what they've done is they've sideboarded out that combo to pivot into being able to put Nezahal into play off Indomitable Creativity instead, to just play really strong value game against the Jeskai Control deck.
That makes a lot of sense to me. We are in game number 2, so this is already post-board. And we're going to see Brazen Borrower just pettily thieving away the little baby shark there that was made by PAULO. And just to keep all of you at home up to date, Ben did win game number 1. So one more game win for Ben to advance to the top 4, and PAULO needs to win 2 on the trot. We are just seeing what PAULO draws. It is a Dwarven Mine for turn. No sign of Nezahal just yet, Aria.
We know there's one at the bottom of the deck, so no matter what happens, PAULO should be safe to, at the very least, not naturally draw both the Nezahals to have no creativity targets. Unfortunately, Jeskai Control is a pretty rough matchup for any combo deck. Just the sheer number of counterspells is hard.
Yeah, so you see that Dovin's Veto and Mystical Dispute already in hand for Ben there in the upper half of your screen.
So I don't know whether we're going to be looking at any Nezahals this game, not unless they're naturally drawn.
Well, I'm always rooting for the big Elder Dinosaur, although I have a lot of opinions about what constitutes a dinosaur and what doesn't. And I feel like the creators of Magic the Gathering, as awesome as they are, were a little bit lax with their definitions of what constitutes a dinosaur or not, and so I'm going to be writing a strongly worded letter dated Ixalan set about all of these plesiosaurs and pterosaurs that have been given the dinosaur creature type.
Nezahal really coming under some strong fire there, what with its title as Elder already being up for debate, and now its very creature type as Dinosaur also being contested.
It is not a dinosaur, alright? A chicken is more of a dinosaur than Nezahal. I'm standing by that.
Unfortunately, no fifth land here for PAULO, which is not ideal in these long game controlling matchups. Hitting every land drop is rather crucial. So not hitting fifth land means game certainly not going ideally.
Yeah, you need lands to cast your spells. The old adage is true, as we see PAULO struggling a little bit here in game number 2. Ben, however, has all the cards flowing and has the threats as well. A couple of 3-power flyers in the air. This is going to be a pretty quick clock, though PAULO does have a couple of answers.
Yeah, well notably, we mentioned earlier that Dovin's Veto is a card that's much better at reacting to threats than it is at protecting threats, because once you counter a threat with Veto, they can't counter back. But PAULO has an innovative solution to that, with Unsubstantiate being a counterspell in the counter war that can help push through a threat through a Dovin's Veto by returning it to hand rather than countering it.
Oh, I love Unsubstantiate. I'm so happy to see it in Historic. I've been playing a little bit of the Jeskai Mutate deck in Standard, and Unsubstantiate is just such a key part of that deck. I know you have as well, Arya, and just cannot praise Wizards of the Coast enough for cards like Unsubstantiate and also Aether Gust that are counters but not counters. If that makes sense.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see if we saw that here, because we're going to see a creativity for 1 on a treasure, and we're going to see a veto for that. And if we see an Unsubstantiate on that veto, Ben doesn't have mana to recast it and doesn't have a way to counter the Unsubstantiate or the creativity.
All right, well, here we go. Creativity is put on the stack. Ben says, Dovin's Veto, please. And PAULO says, no, I have Unsubstantiate. So Dovin's Veto goes back to hand. We are going to see Indomitable Creativity resolve because there is no Mystical Dispute in hand for Ben. And that means that we are very shortly going to be able to see a Nezahal hit the battlefield, we think.
The question here is, will it be enough?
Well, Nezahal has a lot of abilities, but Reach is not one of them. And PAULO does have the Fry to answer one of these flyers, but you see that second copy of Shark Typhoon hanging out in hand for Ben as well. And Ben, of course, also does have the Dovin's Veto from that Unsubstantiate that was put back in hand.
And that Gearhulk is well in hand for Ben. Notably, Gearhulk does not trigger Nezahal in and of itself, only the flashback does. So Gearhulk potentially being a way to get in an extra creature without giving PAULO a way to draw more cards to find answers. Similarly, of course, for cycling Shark Typhoon.
Yeah, you don't often see Gearhulk played just as a flash 5/6, but we might get to see that here.
We'll probably see something flashed back off the Gearhulk as well, but notably the Gearhulk will resolve without giving PAULO the chance to draw another card. Likewise for the Shark Typhoon cycle.
Looks like it's actually just going to be a Shark Typhoon cycle. That 5/5 Shark is a lethal threat for Ben, and PAULO has this Fry in hand, but now has 3 threats in the air to contend with. Fry's going to take down the 5/5 Shark, but this is still a lethal air force here from Ben with Jeskai control, and PAULO with only the Indomitable Creativity in hand is going to fall down to Ben at 2-0. So congratulations to Ben on Jeskai control for making the top 4 here at the TGS Anniversary Series Historic 1K.